Good everyone. Today is the 29th of May, Thursday morning, 2025, and I'm going to be visiting with Maddie Schultz from the Ability Tree Center in Arkansas. She's the executive director. Affiated Support Services has been honored to give a donation to Ability Tree. They're doing great work there in Arkansas, working with adults and children with disabilities. So she should be on direct with us, and we're going to post this to our social media platforms. This will be placed upon our Facebook platform, YouTube platform, LinkedIn platform, Tumblr, Gab, True Social, Blogger, Reddit, and our other platforms. So we look forward to visiting with her. She should be on with us in about 5 minutes, and it'll be about a 15-minute visit. She has a meeting at 10:30, so we'll hear if she's available for that meeting as well. The organization started in Siloam Springs, Arkansas, and actually was started by a couple who had a disabled child, the Butlers. It's now gone into a national organization, and I think people that have children with disabilities are able more to relate to other people that have children with disabilities. I know that that's been the case with myself and my wife. We have a son who has brain disability. Ability Tree was founded in 2010 by Joe and Jen Butler, the parents of 3 children, one with a disability. The Butler's life mission is to come alongside other families like their own who are on a similar journey. Ability Tree envisions families impacted by disabilities being included and supported in local way healthy relationships in their neighbors, schools, workplaces, and churches. So, they have after-school programs. They have parents' nights out. They have other connections in the community, connecting people with people. If you want to send a donation, you can send it either to Family Affiliated Support Services, or you can send it to Ability Tree, Post Office Box 7168, Siloam Springs, Arkansas 72761. Ability Tree is a 501c3 tax-deductible organization, relies on financial partnerships from individuals, businesses, church, and organizations to sustain its mission to provide rest and recreation for families impacted by disabilities. If you want to get a hold of Ability Tree, their phone number is 855-288-6735. You can visit their website at info@abilitytree.org. Their physical address is 2350 East Tahlequah, Siloam Springs, Arkansas 72761. My wife and I recently visited their facilities. They have beautiful facilities. They have many sensory playrooms. They have all kinds of recreational areas for their clients that they serve. They have many opportunities for community events, adult programs, stay and play programs, parents' night out programs, access to after school programs. So So that's an overview of Ability Tree. It's 10 o'clock. She should be with us shortly. Family Affiliated Support Services is also active in many other areas. We also have sent donations to a family in Bentonville, Arkansas, who has adopted 20 special needs children. Having been a prior social worker overseeing 80 foster homes in Kansas City, Missouri, being a prior social worker myself, I worked with many foster children and special needs children. I worked at Marillac Home for Boys. I also work for the Greater Kansas City Foundation. My wife, who's the Executive Director of Family Affiliated Support Services, also has been very involved in working with multiply handicapped children. I also worked at Western Missouri Mental Health Center, working with boys from the ages of 9 to 12 years old with mental health issues. So this has been a long-term mission of mine to try to provide services for parents and children of parents with disabilities. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Larry?
Yes, it is. How are you?
Hi, Larry. I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. I appreciate you getting with us today. And I've kind of have done an introduction already regarding Ability Tree and the services you provide, but maybe you could just kind of give us an overview of the history and mission of Ability Tree. And for our audience, I'd like to introduce you to the Executive Director of Ability Tree in Arkansas, Maddie Schultz. And Maddie, I'll turn it over to you and have you kind of go through the history and missions of Ability Tree in Arkansas.
Sure. Yeah, our connection's not great. So I think I caught most of that, though.
Okay.
Tried to get on this asking me for a passcode, which is why I'm calling you.
Oh, okay. Well, we can go ahead.
But if you just want to do it over the phone.
Yeah,
fine.
we're recording this, so we're fine. You're coming through loud and clear on this end.
Okay, great. Perfect. So I'll just jump right in. So Ability Tree was founded in 2010 by Joe and Jen Butler. Joe and Jen have a son, Micah, with multiple disabilities, and it was quite the challenge for them to just navigate that diagnosis and just the journey through that. And they didn't have a lot of family around, and so they felt just very alone in their journey and just unsupported. And so that kind of birthed the idea of Ability Tree in their hearts. And because they wanted to be that support for families like their own that were going through the whole disability journey, and they wanted to provide that support that they so desperately needed. And so Ability Tree was created, and so now we're able to come alongside families who are on journeys themselves. And the mission at Ability Tree is to come alongside families impacted by disability and provide REST, and that's an acronym for recreation, education, support, and training. And so we do anything we can to support these families. We provide programs for the kiddos and opportunities for them we provide rest for the families and just support and resources to them, and whatever they're needing in their journey. So.
Well, I think that's absolutely fantastic. I can relate a lot to Joe and Jen Butler. I shared with you the other day in our meeting that my wife and I, Rosette and myself, who've been married now 15 years, we have a disabled son who's now 49 years old. So the last 32 years we've been providing care for our son, so we can really relate to Joe and Jen's mission and what they've accomplished, and my hat's off to them. And tell us about how many adults and children are you currently serving in the Siloam Springs area?
Yeah, so we currently have almost 50 member families, which means we serve at least one child or adult in their family. And so, we're about 50 with regular attendees, so that's like weekly to monthly people who come regularly, and who are, very involved in what we do. And that doesn't include the families that come to our community events on an irregular basis.
That's a lot of work. My hat's off to you, and it must be very rewarding for you, Maddie, and your staff there to be able to provide services and to see the great rewards that come with providing services like you're doing.
Yeah.
As a former social worker in Kansas City overseeing 80 foster homes, I can say that there is a great reward in being able to see progress made especially with children with disabilities. Just kind of give us an overview of some of the types of disabilities that the persons that you work with have.
Yeah, so I would say primarily the individuals we serve have some sort of intellectual or developmental disability. We do have some that have physical disabilities, but just the way our programs are run, they really serve well individuals with intellectual disabilities. And so some of those diagnoses include autism spectrum disorder, Down syndrome. We have some students with just intellectual disability, just generalized, and then we have a few with cerebral palsy, and then so that's I would say that's the majority of the individuals that we serve. But it just, as you know, it looks differently with each one. But yes, I would say the majority of the individuals that we serve do have some sort of intellectual disability. And so, especially with our adult program, our primary focus is that those social skills and the life skills so that they can be more independent.
That's great. That's really great. I can really relate. Like I stated earlier, our son has a brain degenerative disease. He was diagnosed at 17. He had an overproduction of dopamine in his brain, which caused electrical discharges. And so a lot of people just aren't aware of how that affects not only the family, but the whole social network of the family and the centers of influence around that. And so what you're doing is, I would strongly encourage our listeners to support Ability Tree. And that kind of gets to my final question for you. I wanted to keep this brief and to the point this morning, but how can our listeners best provide support, and if they want to do donations, how would they go about doing that, Maddie?
Yeah, thank you for asking. That's great. So I would say the main ways that they can support us is through financial donations, financial support. We are a 501c3 organization. I would say in 2024, less than 15% of our revenue came from program fees. The majority of it came from individual donations as well as grants from foundations and things. So our heart is to not turn anyone away based on finances, and so we have scholarships and payment plan, all sorts of things that we do for the families. And so we're always looking for additional financial support. And they can go to our website, www.arkansas.org, and it's all there. Or they can give us a call at 855-2861, 6735. Oh, sorry about that. 6735. And, and we would love to chat with them. We're always looking for volunteers for our programs. We are always, excited to welcome people who have a heart for this population, into our fold, our family. And, I would say financial support, and volunteering would be our two main things. And there's always a need for those two things, right? So. Yeah,
if anybody wanted to actually send you, donations in the form of a money order or check, do you have like a post office box where they could send that donation to?
Yes, definitely. So our P.O. box is 7168 in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. That would be.
Yeah, I think that's 72761 zip code. So send it to Ability Tree, Siloam Springs, Arkansas, Post Office Box 7168 2761. So, well, we really appreciate you joining us today. I know you have another meeting that you need to get to. You're a busy lady. But anyway, I want to thank you for coming on and just kind of giving us a profile of Ability Tree and Family Affiliated Support Services. Looks forward to continuing to support your organization and your great efforts you're doing there. And please give, when you talk to Joe and Jen Butler, give our great big thanks for the work they've done, okay?
I will, yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate the invite.
All right, have a blessed evening. All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye.